All right, hey there, folks. This one is Hill's Counterattack. This is a map I like. This is, as pub matches go, this is one of the best ones I've seen in a while. Yeah, it's partially because it's a good map, but there are good pub officers. There's Arty. The Arty does a lot of shooting. We get big numbers. We get over 325 on the server in this one. So I thought this one was particularly good to show. Without any further stem winding, let's go ahead and jump into the match. I hope you enjoy reviewing it as much as I did casting it. All right, we are back on a very good War of Rights map here. We are on Hill's Counterattack. Man, we got blessed again with some good-looking flags. Again, things that most people don't care about, but I do. I mean, they look good. So, anyways, here we are. CSA lost last round. That was Piper's Farm. They did fairly well. We had just about 300 on the server, but we started with like 225. We have 260 to start Hill's Counterattack, so I am rooting for this thing. Let's get over 325. Let's get maybe dare I dream for 350? I will. So it's 133 on the CSSA, but how many guys went Arty? The curse of a big battery, right? 18 guys. Now, 18 guys for 6 guns. I mean, if we're doing UEC, that's fine, but this is pub. This is a pub play here. We're doing a Friday night fight. So I think that could be a problem because that's 18 guys. The Union does not have any Arty on this map, and that means if you take 18 out of that, it's something. I think it's 118. To the Union's 128. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. It's one of those where the Union Arty, so if you don't know the position, it starts out in most places, it can hit point blank almost from spawn. Some folks will shoot up the fence, they'll move through the fence. This one area here, I like moving it up here. I think that's the right idea. And you have excellent shots across field. You can see there they are. They demonstrated well the shooting through the fence, and then eventually you can move. They can move through, and you know, we should be able to melee down fences like that, just so we don't have to waste bullets, and Arty doesn't have to waste limited ammo on it. Yeah, so I'm sure my views really matter, but that just seems it's historically, well, maybe not the melee animation, but soldiers tearing down fences is historically accurate, and so why not allow the melee animation to do it if shooting also does it? So. Anyways, if you're not familiar with the map, the very quick map overview is, and we're watching one now, is the push by the Union. This is the left side boundary, so we are at the map's edge. The CSA can actually push fairly far forward here. You see the Union are back there. That's kind of what I think of as the Union fort on this one. And I am glad to see the CSA capped early. I think that's absolutely what needs to happen. One, it gives all your guns time to, if they need to move and get their ranges, then go ahead and do it. Two is it forces the Union out, and it forces things to go a bit warmer than if sometimes I watch even an organized play. You know, one group will go out for 10 minutes and try to shoot with the Union, and the Union's like, yeah, we'll shoot it out with you, and they play it very cagey, and they're just wasting time. There we see the Union's got a nice thick line ready to rumble. That is a very nice looking flag too. At navy and gold. I think that's nice. This is also a map where it's kind of confusing because the CSA has several blue flags. The Union, as you can see, has a navy flag, but the Union also has somewhere here a red flag, and more often than not, although there are lots of exceptions, right, that's the Union red flag, and so that can be sometimes confusing, especially for newer Arty players. I'm like, I didn't fire because I thought they were one of ours. But yeah, I think recap is it. What I would do as the Union on this. Oh, good. Okay, so the CSA is, again, not played it bad at all. And I would want to control this top side. If I'm going to go back and recap the point, I want to do it from this top side. The Union, finding out one way or another that that's not possible, they're going to go right into point. So the CSA has a little bit of an... That's a very small anvil group back there. That CSA group, I don't know. Oh, there's a group back in the corner they're skirmishing with. All right. That makes sense. But this group here, maybe their blood's up with the group in front of them, but leave that smaller group you were with here to deal with them, and then make sure you're at least shooting this group up. You want to try to prolong these cap fights as much as possible, or at least rinse and repeat as soon as the Union caps and moves off. Then go back and try to draw them out again. But you don't want that black timer, the black timer you see right now. You don't want that ticking down. You want to give yourself all the time in the world. And it's really hard to coordinate, even in organized play. But I think that CSA Arty should hold off a lot of its shooting until the end, as long as the CSA is close on tickets. Right, make sure you got your shots, right? If you don't have your range sheet or whatever, make sure you're ranged up for the few parts that matter, right? So cap bush and maybe the front of the point, maybe the back of the point, depending on what guns are where. But wait until the Union's breaking or deep into taking losses, and then start expending your ammo. If, you know, even if Arty hits its shots, and even if it gets kills in the state of the game right now, if the CSA caps and then the Union recaps while the CSA is on higher tickets, the Union's going to get all those tickets back. And it's almost as if those Arty shots that, you know, were so great and hit and killed people, that they didn't even happen. And that ammunition just evaporated out of the caissons. So I think it's really hard to do, because you pretty much got to tell people in Arty, you know, get your ranges, but try to leave most of your ammo for the last 10 minutes or so. But I think that that's probably the optimal way to do it. But, you know, just like the real Civil War, they'll have to do probably what's manageable. Alright, so this small group here is going to move to cap. I don't know who the Union have around that can contest this. The Union's playing very far back. So far back that I don't know how they could ever help a fight over the cap. And I'm wondering if the CSA even needs a group over here, especially a group up that far, when the Union can leave their flags and send 60 guys through the corn to potentially wipe you. I think that CSA group just needs to worry about defending the cap, because this group isn't going to have the weight to do it by itself. And then the two groups that are up here can flex to whatever's more important, supporting the firefight on cap or trying to whittle those guys down on their way in. But I think the CSA is generally playing it right, but I think the Union's also playing it right. So we just kind of gotta wait and see what happens here. Alright, and our second... Okay, we got the CSA coming down. And that looks like the thicker line that was up there before. Alright, so we can see that there's American flags over there, Second one's in the corn. I don't know if it's going to move with the Navy flag to wipe this group and then push, or if it's just going to follow that other group in. Where was the small group? They need to start moving up. First of all, you're not going to be able to hit much from there. Second of all, these guys are going to be under pressure, and you want to be lending your shooting to that. That CSA group, they're hiding behind there. This group, you could turn and probably put 1 or 2 vol. That was a good hit by Arty. But we're still in that scenario where I think the CSA is still up slightly in relative tickets. And so even good hits don't matter. All right, good. That CSA group's coming down now. I would think that Union group would push to counter. CSA can afford to get loose, and this is true of defenders who are in the counterattack. If you're going to go up in tickets, it's, you know, it's all the attacker's tickets. Get as loose as you want. As long as you're contributing to the cap, you're doing all right. What I think this group is, okay, so this group doesn't see the Union group that's kind of made the delayed charge coming down. That flag bearer might want to start thinking about when is it time to go, because you definitely don't want to lose the flag back here. Is the CSA? Yeah, I think the CSA probably, with the arrival of that other small group, is in position, and this Union group is not pushing up. Maybe they feel they don't have the weight. I think they actually could do a number on this group right here. Now that it's flagged down, they really could. So, yeah, I'm not sure. And then, where is that final CSA group? 1, 2, 3. All right, they're still. Yeah, it's still them over there. All right, and now they're finally doing it, just as I ordered. But I think that was the right move. And so with that done, this group, if they get out, and the officer there, he's playing tripwire or human claymore or whatever you want. Oh, well, he did a good job helping his flag and his men get out. He'll be able to respawn again soon. I don't know what this guy's doing here. Well, we were all single digits once. It's actually not true, but if you started playing this game long enough ago, we didn't have those levels. But we now have a situation where there are... Oh, does the Union have all 3 flags up? That we're on cap, not the 4th group that's out here. So that group, we'll see what they're trying to do. I think they'd like a scenario where they could wipe that group and then push in from the flank. Unfortunately for that group with the red flag that led that good maneuver, because they couldn't finish them off, they're back to full strength, and they've effectively negated one another, leaving the CSA with a lot more weight on cap. I don't know what the Union plan is now. And I think that this is something we're noticing in the meta. I mean, Roulette Lane was probably like this for a while, you know, even 6 months ago. Maybe Bloody Lane and a small number of others, but when the attackers on the counterattack really get themselves embedded on the point, they can be very hard to remove by the defenders. Now, this is the right idea. We'll see how it's executed. But I think the way that you deal with it, rather than 2 flags v 2 flags, you got to try to wipe one group. And this group looks large enough, they might be able to do it. They ain't going to do it without a flag, though. I don't think they're that large. You should have pretty good ranged options, but that's not always the best when you need a hot shootout. And I think, well, yeah, I mean, if nobody's going to get the flag up, then that'll happen. But the idea was to wipe that flag from the Union, and then you pretty much have 4 flags to the CSA's 3, and you rely on the respawns of your 4 flags to kind of make up the difference from the respawns of the 3 flags from the other. So I don't know if this is a random flag, if this was... I don't think it is, but if this is a second group, and they all spawn in fairly quickly and they can overwhelm this group, then the Union has a better chance. One of the pluses of the CSA standing on point is that hopefully their artillery is not shooting and conserving its ammo for the late game. Huh. Yeah, the pace this is going, this Union, I don't see an avenue to get the CSA into last stand as the defenders in the counterattack. So maybe they're going back to the drawing board. My general advice is to take this high ground up here. I think it's just my view that this is generally the key to cap and to controlling it. It's high ground, it has concealment. If the artillerists on the CSA aren't familiar with how you hit the places up here, then it gives you some, if you're concerned about Arty, it should give you some cover from that. I'll tell you one thing I do not like about the spectator cam is that when you're in it, you get this weird box shadow that follows you. Well, as you can see, it's been following me. Kind of ruins things, but that did a nice job obliterating the top few rails of that fence. But again, the CSA comfortably up by this many tickets with this relatively little time and the way that they've played. I think they're doing okay. What I would be concerned about is that maybe some of those groups are a little spread out, particularly that group up there. I don't know if they're close enough to support this group here. This group is just beefy, so I think it's doing fine. And then this group out here really isn't close to friendlies, but because it's near the map border and there's nothing but open ground around it, it should be hard to get the jump on them if they're paying attention. Right, and it looks like some Union, at least, are going to start making the push. No matter how many times I've played this map, the angles on it are so weird. Right? It's just odd. I don't know how else to explain it, but this is absolutely the right move by the CSA. Now they need to see, I don't know if there was any Union group that was gonna, no, there isn't, that was gonna come in on a delay. But it looks like they have gone for that weak group that was sitting behind the fat line and the other group that's up here. But there's no real delaying group on the Union's part to deal with this. So that wasn't terrible, because if you could wipe that group and you had blocking group set up here. Oh, I saw Union flag I thought was up there. You might be able to isolate the thicker group. And I don't know how many team kills you got on that, but you almost got some more. There was some kernels of a good idea there. But again, who knows what's going on in chat and other things. So. All right. So I think that was the group that was over there. A CSA group. Second CSA group. Where is the... Guess there is one. Huh. I don't know why there's such a big CSA group spawning at Maine, when right up until a second ago you had all your flags up. CSA could be overwhelmed here. This group is just because, for whatever reason, they don't have people on their flag. They gotta run, they're not spawning in. That group that was big here before, it is not. And the far group you can see has stepped up, but there's a moment of opportunity here for the Union. I don't know how fat this group is. It's decent, but it's not huge. You would think the Union would have the numbers. All right. And who knows if this is a delay or if this is a build-up to taking... This looks like it's a build-up to taking the high ground. Not a bad use of time. Right? That fourth CSA group is over there. The far CSA group is all the way over there. Alright, let's go on board. See what we can see. CSA does not need to move up here. The goal is to just hold this ground and not allow the Union to take it before they move to cap. You don't need to move up into it, especially when you have smaller numbers. Alright, but they're going to get reinforced. I don't know what the Union's waiting for. Alright. They heard me. I'm sure of it. Let's see. Flag is level 21. So, will the flag get out of there in time? I cannot believe the Union did not press this. I mean, I know there's concealment there, but it's probably too late now. It's going to be far more costly if it's not too late. But windows of opportunity, they don't stay open forever. The Union is bringing a third flag over here. And their fourth is way over there, tying down that fairly large group on the CSA right. So I think it's a case of 3v2 here, and the Union needs to go. This group needs to do a quick flag count, and yeah, they're realizing it now. They can move up. Those flags gotta skedaddle. And they are right on cue, man. Am I broadcasting my thoughts? No, I think it's just good flag play right here. It's smart. And the group on the far right here needs to be aware that it, and I don't know how they would be, right? Because they don't have the advantage I do. But that this group on the center is vulnerable because though they got their two flags out, those are two very depleted units for the next like 2 minutes. And so the Union has a window of opportunity to throw, I think it's 3 flags against one and try to get this cap back. But time is working against the Union in multiple ways. CSA respawns and the gold timer. Again, as we get closer and closer to the goal timer, I would think that group over there should start inching closer to point. Again, guys, when you see them like that, just, yeah, break, don't, there you go. Don't run away from your friendly who's trying to melee him. But the most important thing for the CSA is that they do have those flags up. I don't think they need to bring those flags all the way back. I think right here is fine. I think the Union's going to get this. Yep. That group is distracted. And now that flag needs, well, that flag had to take off a while ago. It's a hard thing to learn. But yeah, get as close to this fence as you can. And I forget that there are CSA here who look like Union. Alright, so the flag's out. The Union is going to recap. This is actually a place where CSA Arty could come in and try to do something. It's probably not going to matter, though, because it's all Union cap weight against no CSA cap weight yet. And so if you just got to wait till the Union recaps, as soon as they do that, then bomb the point. And again, whatever tickets Arty's going to get, you'll get after that. CSA is making, yeah, an interesting but an uncoordinated move. One group is going in, the other group is going to seize the key ground above the point. This group is too far away to support. That group is realizing it, but late. I think this group is going to get wiped. All right, it looks like they're not going to go for that ground. They're going to go behind, and they're going to try to throw their cap weight on. We'll see. Still looks like the Union's going to get this. Yeah, they did. So the Union got it right. There was no Union bombardment after that. That's okay. But that's the far right CSA. Oh, and they're in trouble over here on the right. I don't know. This group is in trouble here. They need to pull back. Yeah, the CSA needs a full reset here. This is very nicely done by the Union, and not well done by the CSA. You are vulnerable, but you're still high in taking losses, and rather than low. It's not like you're low in breaking and about to go final push. But there was a hot contest. You lost it badly. So you do need to get out. There's a bunch of CSA who are still on point. And yeah, you can see them way back there too. And I think they're just cleaning up a bunch of Union skirmishing and out of lines. They're going to die. I think it's a one-way mission, but I think it's actually a good idea. Not that I would ever advocate Ramboing, but if you got ordered to charge in and broke it up, yeah. I mean, somebody should come in and help. Oh, it didn't need any help. The sword took care of it. But that'll be a bunch of out-of-formation deaths, and this is the CSA flag that was guarding that far right. All right, so we're in a reset here. What do we got for numbers? We got 318. Love to see that. How low? Okay, so the Union's only halfway through taking losses. They could probably force one more early cap if right now they pretty much all run away. I'm not sure how if they're gonna fight for point at this point. Well, this is watch it work, but I think this is a mistake. This CSA group might be ready to go, but I don't think their friendlies are. They don't look like it. They have flags broken off from officers. Still moving to position. Oh, or was this a Union group that had pushed way up and is now pulling back? All right, that makes way more sense. Way more sense. All right, everybody's doing the right thing. All Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And then the Union's playing for that key high ground up there. Alright, so that's a fairly chunky Union group compared to what the CSA has. I mean, if the CSA was all there, maybe it'd be a different story. This group is not responding to assist. The CSA has an opportunity to shoot this group up. I don't think they're going to be able to knock them down given how far away they are, but it could certainly break up the defense for a while if that group had to get healthy. And that's the red Union flag. It's hard to know what we should look at. Alright, that CSA group has figured that out. Alright. So... looks like eventually the weight of numbers started to tell a little bit over there on the right, but the real story is on the CSA left, where I guess they realize how important this is, and they're going to fight for it. Is enough of the Union looking up here? I think there's an advanced Union group. Yeah, right there. 2, actually. All right. Well, they're gobbling you up piecemeal, and these guys are shooting at stuff that is just not important right now. Dealing with this group up here and controlling that high ground, concentrating. I think there are 3 Union flags up here. Concentrating those 3 flags against, I think, what is 2 CSA. That's what needs to happen. I'm not sure the CSA can win an extended shootout here. It's because it is 3 flags against 2. There's more CSA here than we saw, but again, as defenders, you kind of want short, decisive engagements. And the CSA has gone breaking first. So at this point, I think CSA already has probably played it right and probably let the rate of fire slacken a bit. They could probably look to start ramping that up because you've fallen behind the tickets and because the CSA's or Union's about to go breaking, and then they have to hang out near point the rest of the game. So, all right. So is there was only one CSA flag? Oh no, there's the other one. All right. This is not a good idea. You heard it here first. Not only because you time out, but because you're going to die in skirmishing and out of line. Chasing stuff that even if you caught it and knocked down the flag, they're just going to pick it up. So. All right, we have a CSA group. They want to go to cap. 2 CSA groups that want to go to cap. But there are 2 CSA groups that are not ready to support them. And I think the Union knows it. Well, they don't have a choice, right? The Union has to deal with it. And you always want to make these, again, when you're down on tickets, you want to make these quick, decisive engagements rather than drawn-out bloodbaths. And you want to get your flags out, but this CSA group is going to get absolutely wiped. They might do some ticket damage on the backside. I don't know if they're there soon enough. Maybe. I'm wondering where CSA Arty is. Those flags are cut off. That one at least. This one at Catbush I think is as well. Maybe not. But it looks like the Union, you can see those red caps, they're starting to cut it off, and your angle there is not very good. You got to weigh out if you can go over here. But I won't say it's basic flag management, but it's, these guys got to move up and keep it hot on them. Keep it hot on the Union. Turn their attention away from this so that they can't pursue and camp these flags. I understand you're not at full strength, but you're a lot more than they are. The Union can pursue through here, and to get you off those flags, they might invest the tickets. I think as long as the CSA gets together and pushes, shoots it out, I think they can get the Union into last stand and probably get the win here. I have no idea what has happened to CSA Arty. Let's do a quick ammo check. Holy moly. Oop, and we gotta slow our hope nobody got motion sick there. Alright, so you got canister. There's a mobile caisson. I know, I'm missing all the best action to do this. Holy moly, you guys shot through all your ammo before crunch time. Tell me this battery played it better. Nope. Well, yep. Better. But that is why you don't do that. This is a good situation for the CSA. You can hang out just at the edge of cap. You got your numbers up. The Union... Why? Why are you running up there to Diadoline? As the Union, you just want to end this. So, either you get an overwhelming shootout or you get a melee, but you do not want to bleed 50-50 engagements. And then I'll take a few guys offline while they stand up, but I don't think there's too much more. Yeah, in these groups, the CSA needs kind of every musket firing right now to keep this a 50-50 thing. Uh-oh. Union's doing the right thing. They're getting on that high ground. Alright, well, the CSA has concentrated. I said that they should do that. And they want to make the Union come out and bleed for point. They're going to go into melee here. So the Union, it's harder to justify staying in that big long line as the CSA concentrates against part of your line and overwhelms it. And you can see the cap is falling now. And it looks like the Union's falling behind in tickets as well. Yeah. They're going to make a push here. They're probably going to win, but they're going to try to get those flags down. Probably the worst case scenario, and it's actually possible here, is that the CSA goes final push, but they look like they're really getting control of this field. You don't want to go final push in a melee in which you are later wiped. It's like the worst. Yeah, this is a Union group, not just the CSA who look like Union. Not the end of the world if the Union can knock down enough CSA flags, right? So that was almost bing, bang, boom. And the key now is, can the CSA keep their flags up? They don't even have to be on point. They just have to be up and in their possession, spawning people in. You can see the Union have to flood. I think they're pretty much club and go. Probably no loads, probably no bayonets. And the flags can just play it very cagey. What the Union wants to do is wipe everything in front of you, push through to the flags, push them off, and then shoot the CSA as they have to trickle in from spawn. And that's it. All right, let me go ahead and mute myself, and we'll see the final casualties here.